Hey guys, this is Jared Gowan and this is my Honors Italy Study Abroad Food Heritage Project. So before we got started with the whole food heritage thing, I kind of thought that before you could truly understand what my food heritage is, you should probably know where I come from. So here is a brief tour of Garner. I grew up in a very small town called Garner with a population of 284 people. Most of my family is actually from and still lives in Garner. This is the Gowan homestead. Generations of my family have lived on this land and we still live here today. This is my house. This is my grandfather's home. And this is my brother's home. I wanted to show you all these things in order for you to see how secluded Garner is. It is at least a minimum of 15 minutes by car in any direction before you hit the nearest Walmart or Piggly Wiggly or any resemblance of civilization. For my food heritage project, I picked my Nana's Pecan Pie. Although it was definitely more popular around family holidays like Thanksgiving and Christmas, from the first time I can remember, pecan pie has always been around. It was definitely something that everyone looked forward to when special events came around like church potlucks or family reunions. This particular recipe is important to me because it reminds me of my Nana, Marvell Gowan, who passed away in 2005. She actually made the recipe up herself. My Nana was a really wonderful lady. From teaching me how to tie my shoes to having grilled cheeses made every time me and my brother got off the school bus, my Nana has always had a very special place in my heart, which can probably shed some light to why I was a pretty hefty child. Praise God for the glow up. I have always been a little sad because I was only 10 when she passed, so I really didn't have a lot of time to spend with her. But by making food that she made all the time, I feel like I am making her proud, carrying on the family tradition, especially as a male, and that in turn makes me feel closer to her. Since her passing, my mom has taken over making the pies for family events. And because my Nana never wrote down any of her recipes, we have a cookbook that we have stuck recipe after recipe in called Meet Me in the Kitchen, which was a gift to my mom from my maternal grandmother. We stick to the original recipe as much as possible, but some things are different. Back when my Nana first started making these pies, they didn't have a car, so they would have to catch a ride to the next town over to get her ingredients. McRae, the next town over, had a small convenience store where she could get her ingredients at. Yes, I know it is spelled McRae, but that's just simply not how you say it. Most importantly, there's a pecan orchard in McRae where my Nana would get her pecans because it was cheaper to gather them yourself. Now, as true Americans, my mother and I go to the good old Walmart and buy them with our hard-earned money because convenience is key. Another reason that we have pecan pie so often is because it is my dad's favorite. Instead of a birthday cake each year, he asked for pecan pie to be made, and we have pie and vanilla ice cream. Before we get into the making process, let's talk a little bit about the pecan and how pecan pie became a delicacy. Interestingly enough, pecans are native to the southern United States, and pecan trees are common across the state of Arkansas. They were highly valued by Native Americans who traded and consumed them. Actually, the word pecan is a derivative of the Native American word pecani. But what is more interesting is how pecan pie became a delicacy in the southern United States. The origins of the precursors of the pecan pie we know today are not concrete. However, there have been theories offered to answer this riveting question. Pecan pie is considered to be a sugar pie, meaning that its main ingredients are butter, sugar, and eggs that result in a custard-like filling. It has been said that this was an adapted recipe in North America from a medieval European tart. Others say that the French invented pecan pie soon after settling in New Orleans. Currently, the earliest recipes to date were in 1886 and were published in Harper's Bazaar. However, in the 1930s, this dish was revolutionized into the pecan pie we know today with the introduction of corn syrup into the recipe. Since then, pecan pie has become a staple in the South and has become closely associated with the culture of the southern United States. The main ingredients that go into our pie are eggs, sugar, white Karo, butter, vanilla, and pecans that all go in a traditional great value pie crust. This is the recipe that we use to make one pie. However, if you double all of the ingredients, it makes 3 pies. How that math logistically works out, I have no clue, but it does. Before beginning to make the pie, thaw 3 traditional pie crusts and preheat the oven to 290 degrees for an electric oven or 275 degrees for a gas oven. To make the pie, you chop the pecans, melt the butter, and combine all ingredients into a large mixing bowl. Once all ingredients are combined, distribute the mixture into the 3 pie crusts evenly. If it looks like more pecans are needed, add them to each pie until the desired amount is reached. Then put the pie in the oven for 1 hour. After 1 hour, check the pie by rocking it back and forth to see how much it jiggles. When the pie is done, the center of the pie should jiggle just a little bit. If the pie is not done after an hour, put it back in the oven for an amount of time based on your judgment of how done the pie is. Not only does making pecan pie make me feel closer to my Nana, it also brings me closer to my mom. Having these experiences makes me excited to continue this tradition with my own family so they can learn about their great-grandmother Marvell.